This is the Sycamore Marching Band podcast number 3, and your host, Jeff Beeler, with Marching Band Director David Swift. How you doing today, David?
I'm doing great, Jeff. How are you?
Great, man. We've had 2 wonderful podcasts. Our ratings have just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
We thought we'd better continue these.
What, a couple million hits right now?
Oh, it's unbelievable. I think we're getting a notice from YouTube that too many hits are going on.
I think it's our golden tones.
It's
drawing
this.
them.
I might start singing pretty soon.
Oh, no. Let's hurry up and wrap this up then.
Well, we thought in our 3rd podcast, we're going to start talking about this weekend, the Mid-States Marching Band Finals. Huge time. This is basically what we worked all year for.
Yeah, we thought originally this was going to be a crazy weekend with a football playoff game, but unfortunately that didn't work out. The Aviators didn't quite pull it off. Well, they did their part, but everybody else didn't help out. So anyway, we're kind of disappointed about that, but we do still have our final weekend this Saturday.
And we want to make it our best weekend, our best performance of the year. So we want to just review some things to make sure we can have that happen.
The first thing is that we originally on the calendar had a practice scheduled for Friday after school, and that has been changed. So the new time is Saturday, and we're going to be coming in at 6 o'clock. So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, some of you might have hit the SBOB site, that's www.sbob.org, and found out we had coming in a little bit early, but we adjusted some times because simply we just don't want you standing outside in the cold at Kings for a long time. So 6 o'clock, we need you on the field at the high school, and that's really important because this is going to be getting dark pretty early, so we want to get you out there. You need to eat dinner before you come, but I need you out on the field ready to go at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, and we got to make sure that they're not pulling in the parking lot then. They're actually out on the field because we're only going to have them out there for about an hour, and that includes fundamentals and warming up and then at least one run through.
Right, it's going to be pretty quick. After we're done with rehearsal, we'll bring our things back, we'll load the semi, and after that, very importantly, we're going to get dressed actually at the high school. So the only thing we'll be putting on the semi will be our instruments. Again, we're going to get dressed at the high school, load the buses in our uniforms, so once we get up at Kings, we're going to basically get off the bus, get in line, and go to our physical warm-up and get started.
Yeah, and of course there are just 5 in the class. I think that's all on the itinerary. Hopefully people have printed that out.
Where can I find that itinerary?
That is at www.sbob.org. Of course, if they're listening to this podcast, they probably already were at that site.
Well, that could be true, but we can never tell that enough.
That's true. So anyway, we finish, and then after the awards, which are at 10:30, right after that, we're going to just basically load our individual instruments because all the pit will already be loaded.
Correct.
And then we'll get on the bus and head back. Should be back around 11:15. Is that correct?
I think we'll be back 11:15 and get everything unloaded in that night. Now, I might ask all the students if you would just take a second that night at some time and just thank the parents for all the work that they have done, moving the equipment, the uniforms. I don't think you guys really know how much work is done, what you just don't see. So if you take a minute and tell them thanks a lot for their support, I would really appreciate that.
And also, of course, the bus drivers and the truck drivers have put in an enormous amount of time as well. It's always great to thank them. I wanted to say that it's been a great season. This is going to be the end of the marching season. Of course, we get to reward ourselves with the Florida trip, and we'll have another podcast about that. But it's just been a great year, don't you think?
It's been a great year, and I've seen such tremendous growth in the band, and I just really have such great pride when I watch you guys perform and see how far you've come. It's just magnificent. Well, I'll tell you what, before we wrap up in this nice short one, just want to remind you, if you checked your calendar, we are going to be having a parent meeting for the Disney trip on Wednesday, November 5th. That's at the high school. We're actually going to do that in the new auditorium, and it will be about an hour long, and that's an optional meeting. But again, Wednesday, November 5th, in the auditorium, we'll have a meeting for the parents on Disney, followed at 8 o'clock by a chaperones meeting. So until then, in our next podcast, we look forward to seeing you.
We'll see you later, everybody.
1, 2, 3, go A's!